Phoenix Suns and Mercury owner Robert Sarver plans to sell both teams after mounting pressure from fans, players, and a major sponsor. This comes after the NBA suspended him for a year for using racial slurs and aggressive behavior. Before his rise in the business world and fall into controversy, Sarver grew up in the Old Pueblo. 9 on your side's Ryan Fish has more on his Tucson roots.
Long before he bought the Phoenix Suns and Mercury, Robert Sarver grew up in Tucson, and he went to school right here at Sabino High School. That's where he met Kip Johnson.
And I consider Robert a good friend still.
The two were roommates for 2 years at the U of A back in the early 80s.
He was a great roommate. He was a great friend. He was a smart guy from the beginning, and we all knew he'd do very well, very outgoing.
Sarver went on to found the National Bank of Arizona and work in real estate. He gave back to the community, including a large gift to the university's Heart Center, now known as the Sarver Heart Center. His father, Jack, died of heart disease. Then in 2004, Sarver bought the Suns and Mercury.
He liked being around the athletes. He always did. He liked that in college, too. He had usually some of the athletes were around our apartment a lot, and he always enjoyed that part of it.
Now, amid public pressure, Sarver plans to sell the teams after an NBA investigation linked him to inappropriate workplace conduct over the years, alleging Sarver was crude, misogynistic, and racially insensitive. Johnson believes the story is overblown.
He is not at all a racist. Like I said, I've known him for 50 years. We've all said things that we regret, and I'm sure Robert did. But again, it didn't need to be blowing into this big of a story. He didn't deserve what he's gotten, and I don't feel that this story represents Robert. I think he was bullied into now selling the team.
But many don't see it that way, saying Sarver must be held accountable for behavior that's not acceptable. Regardless, he's now faced with a low point in his career. Johnson believes he can climb out of it.
Knowing Robert, he'll bounce back stronger than ever. And right now, I'm sure he's going to spend some family time with his wife and 3 boys. And that's probably the best thing for him right now.
Ryan Fish, KGUN 9 on your side.
Well, there's plenty of reaction from around the NBA about Robert Sarver's decision to sell his majority ownership stake in the Suns and Mercury, one of the strongest from former Wildcat and Phoenix native Richard Jefferson.
I'm a University of Arizona person. Do you know where Sarver went to school? University of Arizona. I have sat next to him on a plane. Lute Olson, my grandfather, is one of the people that helped get this man into this league. All of those things said, he is a part of a fraternity and a family that I belong to, and I could not be happier to see that man walking out of the door. Why? Because even though I did not have these experiences, I had close friends that did.
Jefferson making those comments on ESPN's NBA Today. Sarver, Tucson native, is selling the teams after an NBA investigation found that Sarver repeated racist slurs and mistreated employees for years.